supper and a mother at the best place around. Some stupid with a flare gun burned the place to the ground. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Smoke on the water. Burned down the gambling house. It died with an awful sound. Funky and Claude was running in and out, pulling kids out of the ground. But when it all was over, we had to find another place. Swiss time was running out. It seemed that we would lose the race. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Smoke on the water.
You wanna know what goes on backstage? Oh, come on. Let me take you by the hand. Ow!
Rudi, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen,
The way I see it, Barry, this should be a very dynamite show.
You know, I have no idea what the name of this program is, but you're watching it.
Backstage,
All you ever want,
backstage,
all you ever need.
backstage.
Your dreams will be fulfilled once you are there, you'll never wanna leave. You wanna sell your ass for that backstage pass. Backstage is just for the invited. Backstage, they've laid on everything.
Hello, darlings. Welcome from my YouTube Rudi Backstage studio here in Spain. As you can see, we have the Rolling Stones and Queen and a little bit of, here it's ABBA on the back, so to make it a little bit music-like. Thank you for all your loyal fans who write me so many things, positive things and encouraging things and interesting things. So today I will answer a few questions of a very loyal fan, Shelly from Delaware, from the US. I will talk about how I managed to stop drinking alcohol and now, celebrate 700 days of not drinking a drop of alcohol. And I also will tell stories about Madonna, Deep Purple, and Queen. So that's the program for Backstage International episode 102. Remember when it started in a Munich hotel room? A time ago. Okay, so darlings, Shelly from Delaware. She is one of the, how should I say, very loyal people that write to me almost on every streaming and screaming. I'm sorry. And she sent me this picture. So this picture and said, Rudi, is this you on the left bottom? And can you tell us something about this photograph in Backstage, Rudi Backstage International? Well, here it is, Shelly. Sherry, sorry. Yes, this is me. This is Rudi. We had already a few at the time. I'm writing a whole chapter. I wrote a whole chapter in my book, My Friend Freddy. And it is right after a rehearsal for the Magic Tour when Freddy was inviting but what was called the inner circle in his home, of course in Garden Lodge in London. And you can see various people there, of course, Brian and Roger, also Spike Edney, then, people like Trip, the sound engineer, and other people who are always involved in the live productions. And the photo was taken by Peter Freestone. I will have this photo in my book and in a special version, because Peter was, first of all, the way he took it, the way he took the photograph was, there is in Garden Lodge, there is a little staircase and an upper, how do you say, balcony or whatever, within the living room. And he went up there, which is why we're all looking up, which is a very good idea of Peter. Yeah, thanks, Peter. And then what he did, together with, I think it was Giovanelli who helped him, he made little bubbles of what these people are thinking at the time when this photo was taken. And if you know the people, this is so funny what he picked, that it's a big laugh, and you will see in my book, and also with the explanation of how this whole happened and how the evening was. And of course, we were playing Scrabble, one of Freddie's favorite games, and it was also that I still have the actual game, for a memory at home, the Scrabble game, play, whatever, in the box. So that's about this photograph, which again, I mean, it's a very, very long chapter, and I have a few chapters which are based on a photograph, and then I explain, the day and what happened and what we talked even, because I made notes at the time. So this is one thing. The other thing is that, let me show you, Sherry also sent me this photograph, which is her collection of Queen stuff, and in the middle, and this is what she mentions, is the home video, my film Queen Champions of the World. There is also the backside of this, which looks like that. Well, it's a little bit explained. Of course, the photograph was taken after Freddie's passing at the Duck House, by the way. And on the front cover, we of course have Freddie. Well, Champions of the World was one of the documentaries that I produced with Jim Beach and directed with my then partner. And it was maybe, the most advanced, from the Queen documentaries. I mean, the famous ones. I did quite a lot, as you know, for many, many years. I did basically everything that came along, be it live concerts or music videos, solo videos, Queen videos. So Magic Years was like the first big attempt. As you know, it was the 3 1-hour VHS cassettes that 3 parts that was in 1986 or 87, if I remember correctly. Champions of the World, in comparison to that, was more advanced. I also did one documentary, I remember, which was called The Queen Phenomenon. So those were the 3 big ones, and then was the biggest of all, the Freddie Mercury, The Untold Story, which, as you know, was awarded at the Grammy Awards, which is the Academy Awards of the music business, where I was, quite pleased that we did that. And for Untold Story, there is, by the way, a version that was never released, which I did much later with the help of Brian and Roger, which included more Freddie interviews and more Queen music. But maybe this sees the light of day. It's not in my hands, but that's I think a better version than the one which is out there, because of after a few years I reworked it. So Champions of the World, yes. I mean, as always, I was trying to be very authentic. And I was also trying not to repeat myself. So if you watch those, actually it's 5 documentaries: Magic Years 1, 2, 3, The Queen Phenomenon, and Champions of the World. If you watch all those, there should not be a lot of repetitions, which means I was always trying to get new angles. And I remember, of course, the Champions of the World was identical with the album cover. I remember the photo shoot at the Duck House in Montreux, which was, I think, yes, I'm already recording, which was, I think, an idea of Jim Beach, if I'm not mistaken, that those 3 are, looking from the back, basically, into the sun or into the horizon. So, Sherry, I hope that this answers your questions. By the way, send me questions. Remember, I was doing, special backstage episodes where I was answering questions of fans. Please write to me, and then I will try to answer your questions. Write to me on my platforms, and I'm happy to pick up questions again and restart this. It's quite nice gesture where, fans are asking me things they want to know, and I'm trying to answer. So, 700 days, not a drop of alcohol. People ask me, when I'm posting this, and I did, of course, now in the last few days, that this round is coming up. I'm going to make 1,000, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to be another year, basically, but it's almost 2 years now. And people always ask me, how did you do it? Well, first of all, I have to say that alcohol is a very different and difficult thing, because I never considered myself to be an alcoholic. One of my best friends was an alcoholic. I'm not going to say his name to protect his identity, because I'm somebody who takes care of other people's identities. And I don't know if he wants me to tell. This is why I'm not saying. But he stopped drinking alcohol and smoking the same day, I remember, in 1979, from one day to the other, and he never started again. So I didn't have that problem. Alcohol was, yes, in the Freddy times, there was a lot of vodka, of course, and a lot of champagne, together with other substances. But only in the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, when before my boys were born, I said to myself, I'm going to stop all this. I'm going to stop the unhealthy rock and roll life and try to be a good father, because I have now responsibility for my 2 gangsters, as I call them. Today they are, now they are 18 and 15, Ruby and Benny. And by the way, Benny is on holiday, and this and the next episode is edited by a dear new editor called Lukas Fuchs. Hello, Lukas, and thank you very much that you're doing this. A very talented young editor who is also editing other stuff with me. You will see and hear about him in connection with my projects. But when they were born, I said to myself, I'm not going to be excessive anymore. I'm going to stop all the things that I did with my rock and roll friends. And the only thing that I allowed myself was red wine. So I started to, because I was never a beer drinker. To be honest, I hate beer. Yeah, it always makes me tired. And and yes, if it's very, very hot outside and I'm moaning, I'm sort of cutting the grass in the garden and I'm sweating, and then I drink a glass of cold beer. But other than that, I was never a beer drinker, which is very untypical for Austrians. Anyway, so I allowed myself red wine because I said, Rudi Dolezal without anything, I couldn't imagine. Now I'm doing it and I'm very happy. And the red wine was following me, and I was, it was relaxing. Sometimes it made me funny. It also helped me when I was stressed. But you can also drink too much red wine, and when you do it on a regular basis, not every day, but almost every day, you're already sort of, you should take care. I mean, I'm talking now, I'm not preaching anything. Anybody can do anything they want. That's my credo, my motto. But I found out to myself that whenever I was in the US, in Miami, as you know, my sort of second home. Now I have a third home in Munich, by the way. It was easy for me to stop drinking alcohol for weeks because, as you know, red wine you drink only not cold, and if it has 40 degrees Celsius or more, to drink a warm alcoholic beverage is sort of, during the day, it doesn't really fly, as Keith Richards would say. So I always had a few weeks in Miami where I was not drinking, but when I returned to Austria or Germany or Switzerland, I was happy to have a glass of red wine again, and I was not, knowing how it tastes, and I enjoyed it and so on. And this time when I went over there to finish my Freddy book, and then the pandemic came, it was a very long period that I stayed in Miami. It was altogether more than a year. And so I was here with more than a year of not drinking alcohol. And I didn't miss it. And as I explained earlier, it increased my energy. It increased my creativity. And when you are my age, you are at things which are, helping you being more energetic is a good thing, because other people are taking pills or whatever to have more energy. Well, I just stopped drinking alcohol. And the interesting thing is, when you have too much, I mean, everybody, probably a lot of people have that the next day you have a hangover. I'm not talking about hangover, but when I didn't drink for like 2-3 weeks, then suddenly like something like a shadow lifted from my brain and my soul and my heart and whatever, and everything felt lighter, So, and I remembered a saying of a dear friend, an indigenous American person, the white people call them Indians, but they don't like to be called that. And he said once, in amongst his tribe, there is a saying: every substance, if it's alcohol, drugs, or whatever, that you take, when you stop taking it, you have to not take it the same amount of time that you took it to get it completely out of your brain and your heart and your body system. So I have a long way to go, but you can see after now 700 days, or I can see after 700 days, that I'm basically more fit and more together, but that also influences my work. I mean, for example, all this, the talk show and the music show and the films that I'm doing and the international projects also with ABC New York and Showtime, etc. I couldn't do all this in this capacity, I think, if I was still drinking alcohol. And I'm not saying being an alcoholic, but having, your 1 or 2 glasses every second day. So that's my personal story, and that's how I stopped. So I said that I'm talking a little bit about Madonna. Madonna today, if you watch this on Sunday, I have a Madonna episode in my German-speaking Rudi Backstage on Krone TV and Krone.at. I can only recommend it. Although I'm talking German, there is a lot of interesting videos in between. So if you watch it on Krone.at, you sort of get what I'm talking, even if you're not speaking German. And then you have, after every few minutes, a great music videos and other videos that I was digging out of my archive. I did have the chance to work with Madonna. She's like, I mean, in a way to me, she's like the female Mick Jagger. She knows exactly what she wants. When you work with her, she's very focused, but she's not somebody that you easily can become friends, like with Keith Richards, for example. Or later, after years with Freddie, she was always very distanced, and did some documentary work, and also, this video with the American flag I produced, which a very talented, at the time, young director Philipp Stölzl directed, who was part of Doro for many years. So that's my, and as again, go to Krone.at and have a look. It's always on at 8:15 p.m. Central European Time. My Rudi Backstage, not the international version, the German version. Then I came across an interesting story of Deep Purple that I wanted to tell you, because I was doing a Deep Purple Krone Rudi Backstage, and I had the privilege to work with Ian Gillan and with the Purple guys in various documentary projects. But one thing which, I wasn't present, but Ian Gillan and other people of Deep Purple sort of confirmed it. You know that the British people, and Queen did that as well, and the Stones as well, sometimes they have something which is called a tax year, which means they are avoiding a lot of tax if they are most of the year stay out of the United Kingdom. I think it's about, you can only have 30 days or something like that in a year, and only 14 in a row or something like that. So Deep Purple in the early time, when they were very successful and made a lot of money, found out around midday of a day that this day was the last one where they allowed in the UK. Otherwise, their tax year doesn't work, and they would have to pay a lot of taxes. So they had to decide at around 12 noon that they have to fly somewhere outside. And they were, getting their things together and quickly and booking flights and what have you. And in the taxi to the airport, the manager, unfortunately, had a heart attack and died. This is very tragic, but rumor has it that he was the only person who had the numbers of the secret bank accounts in Switzerland and Liechtenstein where they were bunkering their money. So in other words, they avoided the tax year, but tragically, they lost a lot of money. And I thought that's a quite interesting story for the end. So darling, I hope you like it. I'm going back to a few things, as you see, that I did in the beginning. One is, please write me questions if you want to know things about whatever, work that I do, or myself, whatever I think is appropriate, I will answer. And on the other hand, I will try to tell stories of famous bands. Today's it was Madonna, Queen, and Deep Purple, and I was answering Shelly from Delaware on her questions. That's it for today. I hope you like it. Please stay safe. See you next Sunday, where I will talk about my birthday and a special day in connection with Falco and how Queen played for Rudi's 40th birthday, a special concert, flying in extra from London to Vienna. Thank you so much, and see you again. And again, please never, 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 never miss a Sunday. Rudi Backstage. I love you. Love and respect.
You wanna know what goes on backstage? Oh, come on. Let me take you by the hand. Ow!
Rudi, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen,
The way I see it, Barry, this should be a very dynamite show.
You know, I have no idea what the name of this program is, but you're watching it.
Backstage. All you ever want. Backstage. All you ever need. Backstage. Your dreams will be fulfilled once you are there. You'll never want to leave. You want to sell your ass for that backstage pass. Backstage is just for the invited.